Well, I wonder what Corey Taylor has to say about this. Oh boy. After last week and Gene Simmons' frantic showcasing of why people that think that they have big missiles downstairs shouldn't be allowed to do things, Chad Kroeger decided he was going to shoot some shit toward the Slipknot/Stone Sour frontman, Mr. Corey Taylor, who also tends to attract microphones like STDs. But what's interesting about this is that Chad doesn't think he's speaking out of ego here, when in reality that's what this whole thing really is. So this is an official CKN Reacts video, old school style, where we're going to read this article and react as we read. So let's enjoy ourselves, sit back, strap in, let's have a little bit of fun. What did Chad have to say? Let's find out. So, Chad made these comments while being interviewed by Sweden's Metal Covenant on May the 24th in Stockholm. So this was prior to the release of Feed the Machine, which was recently reviewed right here on this channel, not necessarily all that favorably, even though the title track was actually quite good. As he was discussing Nickelback's musical versatility, which is kind of funny by itself, Kroeger told the site, I can't think of another band that's as diverse as we are. I can't! And I don't think that it's me talking from pride or from ego. I mean, you're sitting across the table, you know what you're talking about, and then Chad asked the interviewer to name a band that is more versatile than Nickelback. Okay, now let's just be honest here. Nickelback has 3 types of songs. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, I guess, considering that's how I showed it. Arena rock anthems, arena rock ballady type things, and aggro tracks that sometimes will have a little bit of a country veneer or a little bit of a soft rock veneer or whatever. I might be naming 4 there, but that's not really all of that diverse, even though that's 4 different styles of songs. It's really the arena rock playbook, one by one by one, basically point A to point done. This is something that has allowed bands such as Def Leppard to have some success, although they did theirs a little bit differently. They usually stuck with mid-tempo and then the ballads. Of course, Hysteria being a big example. Bon Jovi is a group that used over-the-top choruses to really get a lot of success, and then they transformed a little bit more into what could be considered the mainstream with songs such as It's My Life. This is just Arena Rock 101. It's not that versatile. That's the thing. The reason why Arena Rock works and the reason why these people will go to these shows is because of the lack of diversity. Because they know what they're expecting. It's a very simple formula that attracts people. Chad, if you really want to claim yourselves to be versatile, go write yourself a suite. Maybe write yourselves a legitimate country song, either that or maybe go with something with jazz or blues. Hell, write a rap song and try to get that over. If you do that, then you can really claim some versatility. Let's move on. Whenever the writer mentioned that Stone Sour is an example of a band that is also very diverse, Chad went apeshit and says, yeah, because they're trying to be Nickelback. He then took a swig from his beer and directed his comments at the Stone Sour singer. Corey Taylor has said some really nasty things about me before in the press. What he might be alluding to is a 2002 interview, so 15 years ago, where Corey stated that Roadrunner Records was directing a lot of their focus and their money and their attention to Nickelback, whereas Slipknot could have used the cash. Of course, you're going to be looking at your hot properties as your reason for feeding some money into the machine. But at that time, Slipknot's self-titled record had already come out and was actually doing some pretty good numbers, whereas Nickelback was just starting to turn the corner with Silver Side Up. Of course, there was definitely a difference in checks and balances for what kind of band that they were, but never mind, let's move on. He talks about how easy it is to write a hit song. Well, show me! Show me! Write one! I have yet to hear one. They're okay, but they're not as good as Nickelback. They sound like Nickelback-lite. What? Okay. Alright, we need to reconfigure ourselves here after that bona fide shocker. First of all, Corey, they have written a hit song, and This is coming from a guy that a couple of years ago would have defended nothing that was associated with Slipknot because of personal bias. But if you just look at the numbers, they did write a hit song. In fact, one of the very first things that was released by Stone Sour, a track called Brothers, which was on the Spider-Man soundtrack, was one that went to number 2. It might not be a number 1 song, but that's not what you defined. But then there's also Through Glass, which did extremely well. It was number 1 on the modern rock hit charts whenever it came out. It was absolutely unavoidable, and really their other tracks have also done fairly decently respectively. Now, is it a number 1 song hitting machine, or or is it Nickelback? No, but once again, completely different sort of frameworks here. If you take a listen to what Stone Sour does, it is not the same basic arena rock mentality that you get from Nickelback. So obviously there is going to be a bit of a difference, but also, and I have to just say this, it does make Stone Sour's job just a little bit harder, considering they're trying to get something over that is not as over as the idea of arena rock. But of course, Corey did not stop talking. He has Gene Simmons problems and Ted Nugent's former problem, because apparently Ted Nugent is now going to shut up and not be offensive anymore. I'll believe that when I see it, but it's just good to listen. He's not said anything screwed up that was worthy of being talked about on this channel all year. Gene was in that boat. He screwed that up last week. So maybe, just maybe, these guys are starting to get it, but I doubt it. But anyway, Kroeger continued to talk, which is his first mistake. Pointed out that Nickelback and Taylor's other band, Slipknot, launched their respective careers while signed to the same label, and added that they had to put on masks and jump around. How good can your music be if you're going to beat each other up on stage? Throw up in your own masks every night. I mean, music shouldn't come with a gimmick. Really. Music should just be music. None of my favorite music comes with a gimmick. I guess he doesn't like Kiss. As he got tired of sitting behind a mask, he wanted people to know who or what he looks like, so he started Stone Sour. Apparently, Corey Taylor started Stone Sour because he didn't want to be behind a mask anymore in 2002. Chad doesn't know very much about the band that he's talking shit about, considering Stone Sour began in 1992. Again, guy that really, know thine enemy. That's what I'll say. Know thine enemy. This is coming from years of not really liking the band, but now finding a lot of respect and favor for them. It started in 1992, and the only reason why the band didn't release any material was because they decided to put their efforts into Slipknot. 2 members joined Slipknot, and of course, the rest is history. They reactivated Stone Sour in 2002. So Stone Sour was going on maskless prior to the Slipknot. So, what? And music not having a gimmick? Nickelback is a walking, talking gimmick. I mean, come on. They were a walking, talking meme for the entire 2000s and part of the 2010s. Dave Grohl famously said that if you play a Nickelback song and go backwards, you hear a good song, but if you play it forwards, you have to listen to Nickelback, or whatever the hell it was. This is something where you guys are a joke. That is your gimmick. Your gimmick is that you're a meme. You're a walking meme for repetitive music. And you want to say that they were a gimmick, that Slipknot is a gimmick? I mean, yeah. Everything has to have a hook. Everything has to have a gimmick. It's just like pro wrestling. Entertainment is just like pro wrestling, where you have to have something that draws you, that is your allure, that is your factor. Even a guy such as Joe Bonamassa, who just plays the blues, has a hook, and that's the fact that he's a killer bluesman, that he has fantastic chops. This is ridiculous. This is hysterically ridiculous, to the point where I want to see Chad Kroeger versus Corey Taylor in like a no-holds-barred, Hell in a Cell, crappy music CD on a pole match. Let's make this happen. Money in the Bank was a shitty pay-per-view. This could have been better. Have it be in a TLC match where everything is on fire and there's thumbtacks everywhere and barbed wire sticks out of shit. Oh my gosh. Chad, you right now are coursing your way closely to becoming one of the bigger douchebags of 2017. And that's the thing. You are never anywhere near these lists. So just do yourself a favor and shut the fuck up. And Corey, if you're really smart, just don't even respond to this. It's one of those things where if you respond to it, you just are egging on the behavior and blah, blah, blah. Of course, Corey's going to respond. We know. And we'll probably cover it. So stay tuned for that next time. And also, Any thoughts and comments, please post them in the comments below. I'm CKN. Toodles, everybody!